Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Foothead Podcast. Solo episode today. Mostly just because I have been kind of lazy with recording lately. Story of my life, story of my YouTube channel. We move. Um, Basically, it's gonna be a shorter episode. I just kind of want to just talk about the past month, and I'm gonna be honest. I've played FIFA maybe a collective 7 days in the past 30 or so. So not really much to talk about as far as like my personal experience other than weekend league and maybe a couple games of rivals because the last time I played I got 8 or so wins. I just didn't have the interest really, which has kind of been my summary of a whole this year, just uninterested basically. Um but yeah, so we got about 8 wins in that weekend league. Um and then the next weekend that followed was I believe Valentine's Day, so I took off that whole weekend, and then that following week, Monday to Friday, I just didn't care enough to play rivals, to get the points to qualify for that next weekend. And then last weekend was my first time. The team on screen is the team I used. I'm just gonna have it there, just as a backdrop. Kind of, I'll cycle through that. I'll cycle through some of the stats from this weekend, just to show basically what what I went through, basically how I did. Um, Shocker. Silver one. Nope. Yeah, silver one. Whatever. It was the past, from what I've played at least, the past month has been a very interesting for 3 to 4 weeks of FIFA. Um it's just been more so, more so than ever, just meta abuse after meta abuse after meta abuse. I'm actually, if I remember, I'm gonna try to do it later tonight so I remember for tomorrow. Um So for those of you who don't know, I'm sorry for the bright glare. The monitor is right in front of me. This is what I do every weekend while I'm streaming over on Twitch. Link right there and in the description. Little shameless plug. I stat track every aspect of my weekend basically, down to the color coordination of the players, to their cards, to the games played, goals, assists, man of the matches, saves, goals allowed, everything. Um, and I think starting this weekend, I'm going to start tracking the amount of times I come up against specifically Varane and Mendy. Um, I saw I saw a player doing it. I forget who the YouTuber was. If I remember, I will uh, put his link down below to the video I'm talking about. But basically, he more or less was giving away free wins or free goals more than anything. Yeah, he was giving away free goals basically based upon your teams. The more original, the more goals you got. And he basically, whenever there was a Mendy or Varane or both, that was just like no win, nothing, no goals. And I kind of want to track how many times I come up against them, because this weekend more so than any, and again, like I said a few minutes ago, I haven't really played too much FIFA, let alone champs. I think my record, I don't think it's going to show it on the web app. It's not. I'm pretty sure my record, I think I just broke 100 wins this past weekend. Maybe 60 to 70. I haven't played more than 200 games this year. Um, Obviously, friendlies don't count in that stat, so in that aspect, I probably played upwards of 400 games. But as far as the record shows, this time last year, I think I was pushing close to 1,000 games. Maybe, I don't know. It was damn sure a lot more than I've played this year. Um, I don't know. Call it what you will. I like there obviously have been some big changes in my life, just as a whole, that has kind of not prevented me, but just made me realize I'd rather do other things than this. Um, but even besides then, the game is just bad. Like, let me think. Like, let me just think back of what we've had this month. We had messed up red picks, which got delayed something like 15 hours, if I remember correctly. No compensation whatsoever. So a less trash company, to keep it mildly, maybe would have given out something, whether that be a free player pick pack, a mega pack, an ultra, whatever. They would have done something. EA did nothing. There was very limited communication, if any, whatsoever. I'm pretty sure they were just like, hey, if you didn't open your red picks, you're good. If you did, and that was about it for about 10 hours. And then when they finally did come out, they were, obviously you can't do something like boosted something, obviously, and you can't compensate those who had already been affected without compensating the community as a whole. I get it. Logistically, it's probably a lot more difficult to only compensate the players who had already opened their reds, and even then, you know, that wouldn't be fair to the people who hadn't opened them yet. I only opened them that early because I was already awake, because I was off the next day. Or otherwise, I would have been asleep, and I wouldn't have opened them until the next morning when there would have been no issue anyway. Um, but yeah, just it's stuff like that. Just in general, like when was it? This past Thursday, before this weekend, I was gonna stream. Tuesday didn't. Was gonna stream Wednesday didn't. Thursday I had to stream because I was about 500 points off qualifying for champs, because again I hadn't played in almost 2 weeks, so I had to finish playing rivals to get more points. Servers are down across the board. PlayStation, pretty sure PC and Xbox all down. So now I'm sat there on stream like, now what? There was no talk of whether they were gonna extend the entry to Weekend League, whether they were gonna maybe even delay the entry or push back the end date. So instead of it ending early Monday morning, it would early Tuesday morning like they normally do. Nothing. Um, just another case of lack of communication. And I said it last episode when I recorded with Rufio. I don't want this to be a witch hunt towards EA, but they always end up being witch hunts towards EA. Just because I can't say there's nothing good, because I mean, the only good point, like I have a list on my phone of things to talk about. Realistically, the only good thing, and it's like one and a half things, let's be honest. Card design is always a plus. The card design continues to get better and better. What ifs included. I think they're to replace Winter Refresh with them. I mean, last year I wasn't a fan of the Winter Refreshes anyway. Like the new cards that they put out, wasn't the biggest fan. I kind of like the original simpleness of it, of just, here's a card, here's his new card, have fun. Upgrading old cards, stuff like that. Whether we're just not gonna get one. I mean, I'm recording this on the 4th of March, so this is going live in 2 days. So this is going live on the 6th. Unless they're planning on releasing something tomorrow on the 5th. I mean, aside from What If Team 2, I'm assuming. I haven't really looked around too much, but I'm guessing each team gets a week. Which, cool, whatever. Team 1 was okay, I guess. Like, the Smalling looks sick. Conte obviously is cracked. I haven't checked either one of their prices in a while. I know Smalling has a chance of upgrading this weekend. Conte, I'm not entirely sure. I know the right back from the Bundesliga literally got upgraded 6 hours after his release, which that should have been upgraded yesterday, I believe. So the concept is definitely there. The concept of, you know what if these things. I understand the concept. It's interesting. Not where I thought they were going to take the promo. Like, I thought it would have been like, what ifs. I like the name. I like the idea, but maybe they could have done something like, I don't know. Like, I had an idea on stream, and I was talking to my chat about it. The only problem is licensing is such a big deal with this company that, and obviously just legal reasons too. So it's not even just like EA. I'm not blaming EA for this. It's literally legal reasons. Um, I was saying something along the lines of like, what if for transfer? So what if Courtois got traded to Real Madrid? What? No, I'm sorry. What if De Gea got transferred to Real Madrid? What if Mbappe left? What if Messi left? All those would have been so sick, right? Think of it like a pack pulled first owner, Man City Messi, or a you know SBC De Gea Real Madrid play. Like, but again, it's not really down to them. It's down to the licensing of the individual players and the clubs and all that. So I get that. But like one thing they can do, which they've proved it, is flashbacks for the big players. The Messis, the Neymars, Ronaldo, who we have. He's literally sitting on my screen as we speak, the 87, CR6 as everyone calls him. Like people were people bitch and moaned for years. They wanted flashbacks of the big boys, the Messis, the Mbappe. You can't really do Mbappe, but my point. Since I got this card, he's played 51 games and scored 29. Granted, he plays more of a false nine for me. Like you could literally see just on this team sheet, he scored 13 goals this weekend, which makes me believe that the 29 isn't right in any capacity. Um, 7 assists and a man of the match. If if I had it up, I would show like the Xbox screen. If I remember, I'll get a screenshot of his full stat sheet: the yellow cards, red cards, assist, everything. This card paired with Martinez up top with Dybala shortly behind him is probably one of the deadliest combos I've ever had. Period. Um, yes, I put a Hunter on a card that already has 91 pace. Sue me. This card is insane. I will say I have noticed a few of his shortcomings. The 3-star weak foot is a bit of an L, especially when I put the ball on his left foot and aim top corner. It kind of goes that way a little bit to bottom, kind of just rolls off his foot to the keeper. And then I'm just like, oh yeah, you know, mostly because I packed his what was it, the Champions League blue card. So I was using that for like a month. I was kind of used to having a Ronaldo with, you know, 4-star weak foot. So, but the transition is not as severe as people think. So the idea that we could get a Messi, albeit a much less potent Messi, or and realistically, if they were to give Neymar a flashback, it would probably be more expensive than this one because it would be back to his Barca days, which some would argue are some of his best days. Um, but sticking with Messi, you give him what would you do? Circa 20? It doesn't even have to be Messi. At this point, you could do anyone. You could do a flashback Iniesta. You could do, a flashback, and I'm talking flashback like in this aspect, like the baby flashbacks, if you will, like to their early career, right? So, um, flashback Iniesta to when he was starting out with Barcelona, when he was at his most deadly, when Barca were that team to beat. Even a PK, a obviously everyone wants an Ibra always, but even then that would be fun. That would be sick. It would suck that he's a Milan player, but whatever. Like who else? Suarez could get one. Neymar, Messi, PK. Um, I would say De Gea, but like goalies are weird in this game. Like it doesn't matter how good the stats are. Goalies all suck. Like you know what I mean? Like people say that red informed Pope isn't as good as his gold, and he might not be, but it's still a sick looking card. I like the dynamic image. I like having red picks in my club because the good ones are so few and far between that it's nice to have an actual usable one in my club. Um, but just that concept of like, I'm just gonna call them baby flashbacks because, for lack of a better phrase, I don't know what else to refer to them as. Um, like I know they're considered flashbacks. Flashback SBC is literally what it's called, but you know, you have to realize that it's not going to be a flashback in the sense of what Ibra's normal cards are, because Ibra's had a flashback I think the past 2 years, and they were just flashbacks to his greatest moments. So when he was at his most lethal and deadly. Saying that Ibra's always lethal and deadly, but this Ronaldo, for instance, that's him back at Man U. Obviously, for legal reasons, you can't put a Man U badge, but again, what if? That would have been a perfect concept. Obviously, you don't have to go as crazy with like Ronaldo or Messi or Neymar, but like that would have been sick. But again, it's not EA. That's legal and licensing, so I get it. Um, or like another like I saw another idea. I forget if it was in my Twitch chat or if it was on Twitter. Somebody brought up the idea of like what if for position changes. So what if Conte was a center back? So obviously it wouldn't be a gold. It would be like a special card of some kind of like his foot birthday from last year. Um, but in my mind, they don't upgrade. They're static cards. So obviously there'll be a lot more boosted than the ones that we got are. So basically, just cut out that what if scenario of the upgrade and just give us the upgraded version, or if you want. So instead of Conte's card is at what, 92? So Conte's what if is a 91 CDM, and that's a non-upgrade, and he would go up to a 93 with the upgrade. Give us a 92, right? In this situation that I'm describing, give us a 92 what if Conte as a center back with the cracked out stats. Give us a, I don't know, give us a, for example, right wing Lautaro Martinez, right? Something like that with increased stats. Obviously, Martinez isn't the greatest choice because he's had what, 6 special cards, 5 special cards, something like that, which you'll have to see it. But something along those lines, like give us like a Gareth Bale, give us a right back Gareth Bale. Obviously, kind of meh, and then you get into like the Adama Traore situation where it's like everyone's just gonna use him on 5 cam, 7 cam, or off the bench or whatever. Like the amount of times I've come up against someone who goes up 1-0 in the 5th minute from whether it be my lack of defending ability or scripting or whatever you want to call it. And magically, Adama Traore goes from left back to CDM so fast. And that's just usually game over at that point. So you're going to have a situation like that. But I feel like they could have done so much more with that promo, man. It's just, obviously, Team of the Year is always going to be hype. And aside from releasing SBC after SBC after SBC, there's not much you can do content-wise. You have your 11 cards, so it's not like you're going to have a Team of the Year, Team 2. There are 11 cards. They've even introduced the 12th last year, 2 years ago, whatever it was. But aside from that, you can't do much. You can't do much else. That's it. It's those 12 players. That's it. You can change up the order of which they get released every year. So, it used to be defenders, midfielders, forwards, the whole team. Now it's attackers, midfielders, defenders, whole team, because they realize people probably just want to blow their money and coins as fast as physically possible trying to get one of these big cards. So they probably realized the formula was to put the attackers out first. But after that, and it's not even for lack of interest, I genuinely don't remember what the past few promos have been. Like, I know we got swaps too. Kind of meh, to be honest. Like, the highlights of swaps 1 and swaps 2 have been the packs, to be honest. Like, the 85 times 5, the 83 times 25, the 82 times 25. Those have been the highlight of swaps. Like, there are some decent options, I guess. They're okay. I'm probably going for, I'm not even sure, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. I said it in my Discord. I'm not sure who I said I was going to go for. I think it was one of the defenders. I don't remember, to be honest. But, like, that's my point, right? Last year, Icon Swaps 1, I knew I was getting this Zanetti. Like, the second they released swaps, the second 1 p.m. came out, I went on Twitter, saw what was released. I knew from that second that the next 3 months of my life was dedicated to getting that Prime Zanetti, and I got it. The next swaps to, I don't really remember, to be honest, who I got. I don't think it ended up. Oh wait, it was Moments Lampard. Or was that swaps 3? Whatever. It was one of them. But my point is, like, yeah, I think it was Moments Frankie, and he was in my club till the end of the year. This year, like, I got Vidic, and to be honest, I like him better than Van Dyke. Do like I actually hate this card. I hate that I have him. I hate that I have him untradeable. To be honest, I also started playing a 3-5-2. I started playing that over the weekend, and I actually really enjoy it. It's shockingly some of the most fun I've had playing FIFA. Probably because I score a lot, which is fun. Um, but I've been using him as a central, not the play. Vidic 10 times better at central center back than a Team of the Year card, a card that is 11 ratings higher. Go figure. But that's my point. So Vidic, I saw, and it wasn't so much the same as Zanetti. Whereas Zanetti, I was like, yes, locked in. I was on the fence with Vidic up until I got him, and even then passed after already getting him. A lot of people told me he's not worth. He won't be good. A lot of people almost convinced me not to get him and to go whoever the other. I genuinely don't remember anything about swaps one besides Vidic and the 83 times 25, which I got a Aubameyang in, and the 85 times 5, which I think I saved for Team of the Year, and got nothing. So, yeah, swaps 2, not much different. Haven't even started it. Swaps has been out for 5 days, 6 days. By the time this video is released, it'll have been out 6 days, and I have yet to even touch it. I haven't touched FIFA once. Granted that I did also start a new streaming schedule where Monday and Wednesdays are my days off for recording, even though I'm recording on a Thursday and missing stream, but there's just nothing, even swaps, that makes me want to touch the game at the moment. Nothing. Like, I already know tomorrow after work, I'm gonna come home, I'm gonna relax, probably turn on my stream around 8 p.m. ish. And the servers will be probably decent. Saturday morning, I'll wake up, I'll relax. At some point, I will turn on my stream Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, and the servers will be completely different. On Sunday, I'll do the same thing. Probably start my stream early afternoon, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and the servers will be even more different. There's a trend here, people. Friday to Saturday, Saturday to Sunday, nothing is the same. Ever. Friday, I usually play my best champs. Usually. Depends on the weekend, depends on me, depends on a few things. But I usually play my best games Friday-ish. Like last year, Friday was usually when I got most of my wins because I would usually be able to go anywhere from 5-0. 5-0 was usually guaranteed. Majority of the weekend. If I was having a weird weekend or the servers were a little choppy or whatever, depending on a lot of different reasons, could have stopped me. But majority of the time, 90% of the time, 5-0 was basically a guarantee every single week. And then from there, you know, could have been 7-0, 8-0. I think I've gotten 10-0 once last year. And then I kind of went on a bit of a skid the next night because I stopped at 10-0. Big mistake of mine. You don't stop on a heater. And I need to apply that to FIFA because every time I do, I'll be on a 2-3 game win streak and I'll be like, you know, I'm tired, I'm going to bed. 99% of the time on Saturday when I start playing, I start by losing 4 games. 3 to 4 games minimum. I think the best start I've had this year, 3-0, and that was once. I don't know if it's the next gen thing that only, and I don't even want to say tryhards, but I will, even though I am one of them. not only like most of the jitters, if you will, aren't on next gen. And if they are, they're not probably going to be playing champs. You know what I mean? Like most of the casuals are back on Xbox One, not next gen. So that automatically knocks out probably 60% of the player base. Like there's a lot of times on stream where I'll go to search a game and I'm waiting a whole minute to 2 minutes, which doesn't obviously seem like a lot, but when you're playing a competitive tournament style game mode that the entire world is taking place in, and we've seen that you can literally match anyone from anywhere, I shouldn't be waiting more than 30 seconds for a game. And here I am, 2, 3, 4 minutes sometimes waiting to match a game. Just because most of the player base isn't on the version I'm using, they're on a different version. Even more of them are on PlayStation, but I'm strictly speaking Xbox because that is the console I have. I really can't talk too much on PlayStation. That was the whole point of having Rufio last time, was because he was that PlayStation connection. But it just shows that this year's and the skill gap has definitely gone up because strictly the amount of people that or the lack of people I should say that are playing next gen, let alone the lack of shitters that are playing next gen, is absurd. Most of the people playing next gen are going to be very good at the game or just have nothing better to do than sweat their nuts off for 90 plus minutes. I don't know if I have the picture. If I do, I'll post it on screen now. I'm actually going to see if I could find it on Twitter real fast. So this is the team I was talking about. This is the team I played back in Champs in 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago? Well, at the time of recording this video, 2 weeks ago. So this is how he ended the game. 5 back. Son, Zaha, Neymar, Lozano, and Bruno Fernandes. Not Bruno Fernandes as the center mids. Faber, Adama, Carrasco, the left winger, Kyle Walker, and Tavernier as his center backs. Thank God this game was offline. Granted, this guy is the reason I lost gold 2 that weekend. But thank God I played this game off stream, because the things that came out of my mouth were not fun. Things that came out of my mouth would have got me banned off Twitch, off YouTube, off MySpace, probably off Tinder. I'm not even on Tinder, but it would have got me banned anyway. This right here, this picture right here, is what is wrong with this game. Actually, no. Let me rephrase that. This picture right here is what's wrong with the community. I love nothing, and it's almost one of those, like, it makes me so happy I'm depressed kind of things. I love going down Twitter, like when Call of Duty messes up, or Activision, or any of these big companies, whether it be Fortnite, Call of Duty, COD, I Fortnite, Call of Duty, Rocket League, Valorant, League of Legends, whatever. You name the company, there's always going to be people, a fan base, a community bitching and moaning. Nothing makes me laugh more than when I see them complaining like, this is the worst community ever, they're toxic. They don't know what toxic is. Those type of people wouldn't survive a FIFA community. I've been in this community for about 7 years. I barely survived this community. It's just anything for a win, man. Anything for a win. I just don't know what to do anymore, man. Like, I try to have fun with the game. I do. But at the end of the day, I'm playing champs to be competitive. I'm playing champs to get the best possible finish. And I'm not the type of person who can just casually play champs. It has to be all or nothing with me. And I've noticed this year specifically, mainly the past month, because it's more of a grind for me to bring myself to play the game to begin with. After maybe the first 5-6 games, I try to do 10 games a night to kind of break it up for me. So 10 games Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And it's just, after the first 5 on Friday, I'm dead. I'm mentally disconnected, just lights on, no one home. Like, you can even see it on my stream. You can see the just deterioration that I go through playing this game on Friday specifically, and that's only the first night, and that's arguably the easiest night to play champs. I know a lot of people would argue that point and say Sunday night, but not where I live. I don't get people that quit. This weekend actually was probably the most rage quits I've gotten in a single weekend. That was like 7. And again, I stopped at 11 and something. 11 and 10, maybe? I think. I don't remember. But I just. So, like, the team starts out as a 4-3-3. Those of you who have watched my streams, or even, I don't know if I talked about it in my last video, my team really hasn't changed much. The only difference is I used to play a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow with Martinez and Ronaldo up top. And the only variation of that was my park the bus that I tried not to use too much, but if I really needed a win and I really wanted to be scumbaggy, this would switch up to a 4-2-3-1, like full-blown park the bus. It works most of the time. There are some issues with it. The only big change I did make was Tonali. This was his first weekend. He was okay. He was decent. But while grinding for champs last weekend in Rivals, somebody in my chat recommended a 3-back because I did say I wanted to try it. I didn't know how to set it up. I made that my ultra attacking formation, and I decided it's the day before champs. I have to learn how to use this formation basically. So I played the rest of the night, about 10 or so games, strictly with the 3-back, and I fell in love with it. I realized I can attack very fast, very effectively with a 3-back. Defending was a bit of a change up for me, especially if you got hit on a fast enough counter where your wingbacks don't get back in time, and one of my center backs are up with my strikers, mainly Van Dijk. So there's a giant 96 Dutch hole-sized gap in my defense. But saying that, this weekend I swapped Van Dijk off to the left center back position and Vidic dead center, and I saw a noticeable change. And I will admit it, because transparency, I do have a 5-back set. My park the bus is a 5-back. And in one of the games this weekend, I think it was only one, 70% of the game I spent in that 5-back. Do I care anymore? No. No. I'm sick and tired. Right here, this guy, his name is Pablo. That describes how I feel. Okay? I tell my chat that usually he's going to stay pink as long as I'm happy. Very rarely does he stay pink more than 3 games. Because I'm not happy playing this game anymore, especially during champs. Like, I don't care anymore, because when I don't play a 5-back, I get fisted. And I'm tired of getting fisted on stream. That was a crazy sentence. I'm tired of getting fisted by this game. Day in and day out, of people who drop to a park the bus 5-back and just threw ball to Neymar and Mbappe. Granted, I just packed him today in the 84 plus player pick. He's sitting on my bench. There was a thought for about 5 minutes. Maybe it's time. Maybe I make the meta switch. Maybe, I drop Dybala, drop Ronaldo to the bench, get Neymar and Mbappe in the team on full chem. There was also maybe Van Dijk's time has finally come, and I go to Varane and Mendy. I don't want to be honest, mostly because I had the thought over the weekend. Someone in my chat convinced me. They were like, Van Dijk just doesn't have what it takes. As crazy as it sounds, Team of the Year card doesn't have what it takes against all these other meta cards. Neymar, Mbappe, Ben Yedder, blah blah blah. I considered it. I told him if it was gonna happen, it was gonna happen next weekend, and I was gonna just finish out the weekend with the team I had set. That's what I did. The very next game, I came up against a 5-back with a gold Van Dijk, a gold Varane, gold Mendy. Pretty sure there was a Neymar, maybe I don't remember. It was one of the most meta teams you could picture. I made him rage quit at like 4 or 5-0. That right there, that feeling that I got from making him rage quit, overrides me wanting to start Mbappe in this team. I like the way my team is. I like that it's different. The most meta player I have is probably Conte, and even still, mine's broken. My Conte don't work like other Contes. Don't know why. Maybe it's a shadow. I don't know. Maybe it's the instructions. My Conte never seems to work as effectively as everyone else's in the world. Obviously, you could Ronaldo's Ronaldo, albeit a lesser version. I don't see it. No one's out here using Freeze Martinez. Dybala is questionable. No one's using Baby Vidic or Hakimi or Van Aanholt. This whole team, with the exception of Martinez, this whole team, bench included, 3 players are tradable. Martinez, who's never leaving this club. Mkhitaryan, which doesn't seem too much action these days since I got Dybala, gonna be honest. And Nainggolan. Nainggolan's fun to have in the team, strictly Inter, but at the same time, like, if I do decide to drop to a 5-back and, I kind of want to be more attacking than just sitting back defensively, I like bringing in a high player, usually in place of SMS. But I like not conforming to the meta all too much. I don't know. Like, I just don't. I like the way my team is. I love the way it runs. Dybala is one of the most cracked players I've used ever. Like, his stats, I'm pretty sure the past 2 weekends that I've played, so this weekend that just passed and 2 or 3 before that, Dybala was the MVP both times, hands down. Most goals, most assists, most actual man of the matches, just most overall contributions in general was Dybala. Yeah, I don't even know how many games Mbappe will play. I mean, another selfless plug. My Twitter is going to be linked below. I usually try, unless I have like an atrocious last few games and I just get to what I have to get to. Normally, I try to keep as accurate, up to date stats as possible on that sheet, and then I try to tweet it out if I remember. It'll be very interesting this time next week to see how many games Mbappe even plays, because normally my subs are Robben comes in for Ronaldo around the 60th. If I still need more attacking strength, Rooney comes in around the 75th, 80th, depending how many goals I'm down, if I'm even down a goal. And that's about it. Maybe Raja will come in, but majority of my subs used to be just Robben. I only used to make the one sub in Robben for Ronaldo, and now I've been like, if need be, if I kind of want a player with a little bit more stamina left than Martinez, because Martinez is pretty dead come the end of the game, I will bring in Rooney, but that's about it. So maybe I'll start using Mbappe over Rooney just to test out, but he ain't coming in for Robben. He's too sick, man. I enjoy this card way too much. Like, it'll just be interesting to see how many games he actually plays and what his contributions are. Granted, it'll be off the bench. It'll more than likely it'll be less than half the game. But I just want to know how he does and what he ends up playing for, what he ends up doing by the end of the weekend. So I'm going to try to remember to stay as on point with tracking those stats as physically possible, and I will try to remember to post it on Twitter. Unfortunately, it won't be in this video because this video is going to be out halfway through Weekend League. It's probably going up around noon my time on Saturday, which I'll only have played probably like 10 or so games, if that, by then, because I usually stream Saturday night. But, I mean, it's one of those things. It'll be interesting to see, because last year I bought Mbappe several times. Didn't like him any time I played with him. Tried his goal. I tried one of his left mid in form. Like that one even less than I liked his gold card. So I'm obviously I'm upset that I can't. I would have sold him anyway. Like, I would have got rid of his card if he was gold. He would have been gone already. He wouldn't even made this video. I would have just insta sold him. But it'll be interesting to see. since he is untradeable, like it's one of those like even if I don't like him, I have him, might as well use him. So it'll definitely be interesting to see what happens. But that's pretty much all I got. Like there wasn't really too much of a structure. Like I said, I had some stuff written down. But again, I just don't want to turn this into a witch hunt. You know, I don't want to turn this into a 45-minute long witch hunt towards EA. Like, you know, the content's been okay, nothing crazy. It's been all right. Again, not really memorable. Um, Card designs as amazing as always. That's the one positive I can always take from a new promo. Is the card design is going to be something even better than the last. Um, but still, no communications, hit servers, just the worst meta abuse we've ever seen ever. I just want change, man. I hope in a month when I'm recording April's video, I can. I hope Pablo's pink. That's my goal. My goal is to find enough good in this game to make Pablo pink. Because until then, stay in blue. Pablo is staying blue until I find 5 good things. And I'm not talking like pretty cards, good SPs. I want 5 good things. Like I want like good, you know, good communication, stable servers for more than a day. Like give me 5 solid reasons to big up this company. Pablo turns pink for next episode. But that's all I got. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Again, my links for Twitter and Twitch, everything will be linked in the description as always. See you guys next month. Peace.